What kind of businesses are you seeing growing here in the UAE market, like opening here or maybe buying here?
Well, first of all, the biggest news was Revolut Bank. It's the one of the biggest, largest European bank relocating to the UAE in terms of operation. Not only the one of the major shareholder and founder, he used to live in UK and he himself is relocated to the UAE.
But on the F&B side, I always say that there are some restaurants which will work and some which will not work.
100%.
Right?
The restaurant business, in my opinion, is one of the most tough. Yeah.
And when we talk about foundations, we have options here in the UAE with DIFC Foundation, with
DFC, Abu Dhabi,
ADG, foundations. So for people who have just about 2-3 assets, do you also recommend them? Like, what is the threshold of number of assets?
I think from 2 million dirham above.
What's kind of your experience with the Dubai's commercial real estate market?
Well, I think that with the fact that a lot of companies are relocating here to Dubai, there is more and more demands in terms of the office and also food and beverage industry, hotel. So there are lots of venues that continuously got built and of course rented out.
I think we can do one more
podcast
on each countries, because every country has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of misinformation in this industry.
A lot.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing part 2 of the very required and the very inquisitive series that we did with part 1 with Mr. Alex. I'm here in the podcast studio. We will discuss a lot more details about how you can do business here in the UAE, what are the terms and conditions now when you are leaving or exiting Western countries, how the flow is going to be, what we expect of the UAE economic market, especially in financial sense, and also how to protect your assets here, how to move here, how to relocate here. All in all, we will have a good discussion on these topics, and if you have any questions by the end of the video, do put it in the comments section. Like, subscribe and share this video with as many people as you think this will be useful for. Welcome Alex to the show.
My pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, we had a very good conversation last time.
Yes,
and I do see a lot of response we got from that.
Yeah, I'm really happy to share, comment and discuss my knowledge and my experience here in UAE and help as many people possible to relocate here.
Yeah. So the UAE is going through a surge, as I feel that right now, not just people moving in terms of work, but also people moving for lifestyle, security, all those things that we discussed in the previous episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I think taxes, of course, is something what you consider. Yeah. Basically, the discussion of what we had also last time is not only about the tax, are important, are something what people definitely consider, but UAE is more than that. So it's not just a country that have a lower taxation than back home, but a country that represents the future, a country that offer unlimited opportunity for those who are willing to commit and improve their lifestyle and the service, the lifestyle and the safety. What UAE is offering is something really many people are considering on.
That's true. As I say, okay. So today we want to start with one thing. Okay, let's take a typical example of an IT person, IT consultant working in the Canadian market. That person thinks of relocating because of taxes, because of so much. It's a progressive taxation country, and then the facilities, or right now the situation, the economic situation, is not the best. You can say due to number of reasons, and they think of relocating to UAE. What is, in your opinion, the entire process going to look like for them?
So, well, if we're talking about Canadian, but it's pretty much similar than Australia, UK, any Western country. Yeah. But Canada, on top of it, has a sort of exit tax. So it's really important to consider what are the assets on your personal name, when you become tax resident of another country that is not Canada. So there are a lot of things to consider. So before to even consider relocation and apply for tax residency in the UAE, as well to consider which type of asset you have on your name in Canada and how you want to manage that asset once you become a non-Canadian resident. So that's the first point. The second point is to evaluate. I always suggest to have a sort of initial consultation where we can draw an holistic plan, because it depends what are your conditions. Are you married, not married, you are divorced, you have kids, all your family moved to Canada.
What are your
Canada,
goals?
or what's about the kids? What is your typical business? Are you just have you an operative business, or you just have a business that just invests in different stocks or crypto or other business or real estate? So it really depends. But the journey, if we want to just sum up, I will say just point one, figure it out what are the assets on your name. Point two, figure it out which is the best jurisdiction for you. Consider UAE, consider Singapore as the best option.
Yeah.
You may willing to consider Cyprus for some specific business, but UAE is my favorite. Obviously, I'm here. But again, and number three, you plan in advance. So you set up the company and you do everything what is required to relocate. So in terms of find a good piece of real estate where you can live, rent or buy, and set up a business, ensure your visa. Every country have different things. UAE is pretty much simple, pretty much straightforward. So you just basically can buy a property and apply for the visa, or you can set up a company and apply a visa based on the fact that you hire or you invest in your own company.
Yeah.
So it's straightforward. And after number four, make sure when you exit the country to not have asset under your name. So that are the 4 points what you have to consider, and give you maybe a couple of months to do all the process.
Yeah. I always say to people who are thinking of relocation that first thing is that we are in UAE, which is a tax haven country, but does not mean you don't have to pay tax. There is corporate tax, there is VAT, but very, very reasonable in terms of when you compare to other countries. The other thing I always say is that how you wind up your assets in your home country or how your tax liabilities in that, you have to have a local person, maybe a CA or a CPA who advises you on that. What we can do is essentially guide you about the UAE landscape, but in terms of your home country, like US citizens are taxed worldwide. So they need to do that collaboration with their local regulators and lawyers as well.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
And it's very important to understand
exactly
because you need to have a clear idea. Sometimes the clients has not a clear idea. He may have inherited some property.
Yeah.
He may have some stocks or ETFs investment with his wife or alone or with another family member. So it's always good to have a sort of report from the local CPA or from the person who had been following him inside the country, so that we can have a clear picture. We can advise what is the best to do when it comes the time to relocate to the UAE or any country in general.
Yeah. Now, talking about the kind of businesses that we see opening, you do this all the time. I'm myself in the corporate world. I see this too. But what kind of businesses are you seeing growing here in the UAE market, like opening here or maybe buying here?
Well, first of all, the biggest news was Revolut Bank. It's one of the largest European bank relocating to the UAE in terms of operation. Not only one of the major shareholder and founder, he used to live in UK and he himself is relocated to the UAE. So,
wow. So we are seeing some big names moving here.
Big names moving here.
Yeah.
So the bank industry, definitely. I heard noise that there is a plan for a sort of DFC2
there is.
area.
Yeah, DFC is already increasing its size.
So they are increasing the size, so they will. And so definitely financial sector. Another thing what very good is general practitioner. So clinic, into dental clinic, beauty clinic. see recently a huge interest, especially for big name or big brand from US, from UK. They want to come here and leverage their experience, their brand in a market that is requesting a lot those type of service. So
You mean aesthetic industry?
aesthetic, industrial dentist, general practitioner, clinic, all those kind of things also we see. And also real estate investment in terms of company crowdfunding and this kind of stuff. Also, I saw there's a lots of platform that are offering crowdfunding opportunity where many people can buy a piece of real estate and benefit from it, join, put money together so that you have the possibility to participate in more than one project, not just own one project for yourself.
Yeah.
So this also, I saw there is huge. I don't know how many company gets regulated in the FC and the GM for this type of activity. So it's really, really booming. And after, of course, the restaurant and
F&B.
I mean, it's food and beverage.
But on the F&B side, I always say that there are some restaurants which will work and some which will not work.
100%.
Right?
The restaurant business, in my opinion, is one of the most tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. I agree with you. I see businesses coming here, people wanting to buy or acquiring running businesses, and let's discuss a bit on that framework of how you walk through the process of buying a business here in the UAE, if it's a running business or if they want to start a business. Of course, we know the trade license and the feasibility and all of that.
Well, if you want to start a business, let's say it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
all you need is to understand which type of license you are subjected to, and according to where you open and which type of business you will have, you may require more than one license or just a meal and friends or something. So on. So it's pretty much easier to set up a business here, I would say. When you acquire a business, it's slightly more complicated because it's not so easy to track what the company has done before, and if there are some liability or if there is some issue. There are a lot of different authorities around UAE, so there is not. Sometimes it's a bit like more complex to do your own research.
Yeah, of course.
I think you have similar experience in your practice, so you need.
Yeah, I mean, ask me. I was closing one yacht company was being acquired by the client today itself. And you do see, but I always say there are a lot of profitable businesses which are not there in the market. That's why they're not out for sale, because they are profitable. But there are situations where you can get it from, because maybe the owners want to retire, or maybe they want to exit the country. Some reasons.
Those things are one of the best, because I think if they are not advertised, but you find a good way, a good brand, a good business. I mean, obviously there are some opportunities in this field. You need to be careful, but
you just need to do proper due diligence.
Correct.
Which is like non-negotiable for buying business here. With due diligence, you will get to know what the kind of loans, what's the credit history, how the P&L looks like, what are the legal compliances, how the suppliers are paid, are the employees paid on time, are there any unpaid entitlements? I mean, we can go on. Like, it's a process to do that, due
really
diligence. But it's very important, and it is something that I always recommend clients. Okay, coming back to our topic of asset protection.
It's interesting, yes.
Now, I want you to highlight some of your experiences in terms of how, in what kind of situation and what kind of solution have you provided in terms of helping clients protect and move here with protecting that entire situation.
So when they are looking for asset protection, typically the most common operation is when you start to grow. So your business is starting to be very profitable, and you want to split risk between the asset you own, intellectual property you own, and the operative company. So we see a lot of this type of structure for our clients, where we go to protect their asset in terms of separation. So we have the operative company itself, and the assets are owned by another company, typically an holding company or a foundation, and intellectual property is also owned by another company. For intellectual property, it's very, very important, especially for the type of business that they want to go franchising, they want to have some sort of global presence,
Yeah.
global business license, or this kind of stuff. So they're going to outsource their brand. They're going to have some sort of relationship where easy they could have some issue in terms of the
Yeah.
reputation. So when it comes to this asset protection, basically the level of protection what you can choose is between holding, foundation, or trust, basically.
Yeah.
When it comes to the UAE, I really love the Abu Dhabi Foundation. It's a really nice vehicle.
Uh-huh.
It's not so hard to set up. It's not terribly expensive, and you can run.
Yeah.
the show. So I mean, you can have a great level of protection. The beauty of the foundation is that you have a sort of council member. So
Yeah.
your asset are
Beneficiaries.
are owned by the foundation itself, and the clients become just the beneficiary. So it's not the owner but the beneficiary. So and this is very very helpful
Yeah.
in terms of the protection. Of course,
Yeah.
just you need to
Yeah.
we need to obviously see each individual scenario, but that is the general rules.
Yeah. So I'll just like to add in the information that for people who don't know foundations are basically like orphan structures. You are running the show, but directly you are not running the show. You are the founding member and you are the beneficiaries. You can make the laws and the company will hold the assets, and that's all. Usually with foundation and trust, what do you find the main difference?
Basically, the difference between foundation and trust is that the foundation is a juridical body, while the trust is just an agreement. So your assets, in case of foundation, will be owned by foundation itself. In case of trust, will be held by trustee. And out of that, basically, I think it's two way of call the same functions. Like trust is more, let's say, common law, while foundation is more like civil law.
Yeah.
But I mean, the idea behind is pretty much the same.
Yes,
Having
pretty
someone else who can administer your asset on behalf of you and protect your interest. That's it.
Yeah. And when we talk about foundations, we have options here in the UAE with DIFC Foundation, with
DFC,
AD,
Abu Dhabi,
ADG,
yes.
foundations. So for people who have just about 2-3 assets, do you also recommend them? Like, what is the threshold of number of assets?
I think from 2 million dirham above in terms
Yeah.
of your total net worth. So flat, business, intellectual property, stocks, ETF. I think it could make sense to have this level of protection if you have at least 2 million.
Yeah.
But typically the average is 5 million, above 5 million. But from 2 million, it could, I mean, if you plan to grow, if you plan to expand, etc., it could make sense to start from 2 million, but the average clients start from at least 5 million dirham.
Yeah. Another interesting thing about foundation is you don't then need a will, because the foundation bylaws act as a living will. So I think that's why a lot of people why a lot of people use foundation as well.
Correct. And price-wise, I mean, if you do a will in the DFC court,
Yeah. 10 to 15,000 minimum.
Yeah, minimum. And the foundation is pretty much the same, but it's have much more than that. And so there are huge benefit using the foundation, especially if you live in the UAE.
So I want you to highlight some of the importance of the growing demand for the commercial real estate, as I see it from the other side, because we deal with businesses all the time, with entrepreneurs moving, and we do see a demand with commercial increasing, but the supply being very limited. So what kind of your experience with the Dubai's commercial real estate market?
Well, I think that with the fact that lots of companies are relocating here to Dubai, there is more and more demands in terms of the office, and also food and beverage industry, hotel. So there are lots of venues that continuously got built and, of course, rented out. On top of it, there is a great return on investment. So you can easily do up to 10%, and the average price is still very low, in my opinion, if we compare city that have same, let's say, vibes of Dubai, or had the same vibes of Dubai. So there is still time to grow. So I think
There will be capital appreciation
There will
as
be a
well.
capital appreciation over the year. Maybe they will double the capital in the next 5 to 10 years. On top of it, you enjoy 10%, at least
Yeah.
10% ROI. So it's really, really, really attractive to
Yeah.
invest into the commercial
Yeah.
real estate here
Yeah.
in Dubai, especially, but also outside of Dubai. I always say Dubai because Dubai is the
The brand.
the
Yeah.
brand, and the ruler
Oh,
of
I
Dubai
agree
has
with you on
done a
that.
fantastic job. It's like I always say Dubai is a corporation, and
Yeah, it's run like a
brand,
company,
yeah.
and
It's like a brand and it's a company.
Yeah, His Highness is the
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah,
You agree?
yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, in fact, I agree with you. I was the other day talking to somebody from the tech industry, and he said, Shireen, post-COVID, it has become so difficult for us to bring the entire staff to office that unless and until we have those amenities like lifestyle offering in the office, it becomes very difficult for everybody to come out of that, life balancing, work-life balance stability.
Correct.
So when offices now that we are seeing in commercial space, I keep inquiring about offices for myself as well as from the investment perspective. And I get to know that there are a lot of offices being built in Business Bay, for example, with grade A facilities, fully furnished, fully fitted, so that you just bang on. Whenever you get the handover, you start your returns from day one.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
see the growing demand for that, and I
Correct.
think there's a lot of scope of growth as well. So I agree with you on that. And lastly, I want to discuss with you about second residencies, second passports, and citizenships. How are they coming along? How are they shaping the UAE entrepreneurs? How are they making life easy for expats here? All these programs of CBI. Because I heard in between there's some kind of.
Yeah, so basically, when it comes to the UAE, there is not a possibility to get a passport. So typically, you can get a passport based on the residency or based on investment. So,
Yes.
for example, based on residency, because you live for many years in the country of the country. So for example, in Canada, when you study, when you start to work, after a certain amount of year, you can apply for passport. Or in Switzerland or in Europe. So in UAE, it's not possible. So there is no way you can apply for a passport. So
Okay.
the things what you can do is just to have the golden visa and have this 10 years residency.
Yeah.
If you want to have another passport because you're coming from a country that does not give enough travel freedom, or you just want to have a second passport for a plan B so that you can have a better mobility, you can have more opportunity in terms of the business on the market you can access and so on, then you can consider to apply for a passport based on investment. For example, you just invest some lump sum in the program, and you get the passport and citizen of that specific country. For example, many of Caribbean island offer this, or in Asia Pacific, Nauru, for example, is one of the most popular. And
Which one?
Nauru.
Nauru. Yeah, just
yes.
recently they launched.
Not so recently, but maybe I think a couple of years.
Couple of years.
But
But they're still new in terms
It's
of.
pretty much new, and also it's not so expensive because donation is like $105,000. I think they start from
For
that.
family.
From single applicant, 110 for family. So it's still like quite, because Caribbean got much.
Yeah.
They increased the donation to 200, 235, 250.
Yeah.
While the Asia Pacific, it's still keeping on 105 and 110 for. So it's quite good, and you can have a sort of second passport, plan B, and etc.
Yeah.
And the best, I always suggest to have different plan B, and also there is not what is the best solution. It always depends what he does, what he want to achieve, where he live, where he work, what he wanna.
No
how
one
he
size
wanna
fit
live.
all
Yeah,
kind of
there is
theory.
not. There is not. It's like a
It's very
ready-made solution.
tailor-made. I agree.
So typically, there are this opportunity in terms of passport, and UAE residency is one of the best you can have. There is Bahamas as well. There is Cyprus as well to consider. Or for example, Portugal used to be quite popular.
I think we can do one more
Podcast only.
podcast on each countries, because every country has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of misinformation in this industry.
A lot. There is a lot of misinformation.
Not many people are aware. Like, people think Portugal is easy, but it takes time. Of course, nothing. Canada is easy. Canada takes time. It's after all, it's first residency, and then it's the process of passport. So yeah, I completely understand where
So I'm
that
waiting for
comes
another
from.
invitation.
Definitely we should do this one more time for CBI programs as well, and to give
Absolutely.
people the right kind of knowledge, because knowledge is, I think, lacking for these kind of programs. Everybody is trying to pitch the program, but you need to know the pros and cons. But yeah, thank you for all
My
the
pleasure.
insights today. It was a wonderful session speaking with you once again, as always. And we will be back with part 3 as well. But thank you,
My
Alex.
pleasure.
Thank you for
Thank you,
taking
thank
our
you.
time and coming to us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Do like, subscribe, and share, everybody. And thank you for watching today's video.